Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink.
Bueno, ya estamos aquí de vuelta. Y parece ser que estamos en la casa de los Hawkins de día. Aquí no creo que haya mucha cosa que ver. Ahí están esos dos hablando. Aquí tenemos a una calavera que se parece bastante a Murray del Monkey Island. Pero bueno, vamos a bajar para abajo porque aquí creo que no hay mucha cosa por ver.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
Antes de nada, no sé si aquí puede haber algo de interés. El whisky no voy a beber.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
Joder con Bradley.
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
Seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
I heard you talking, bro.
Why am I not surprised?
I get the impression you two don't get along.
Intrusive and not very clever. Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
I found a Darkwater PD badge. Lost a colleague recently?
What the?
Bradley.
Ethan?
I'm all right. I just had a... It's gone.
You're sure?
If it's important, it'll come back. But I can't explain why Dr. Fuller would have that badge.
The man's a danger, believe me.
What can we do, Pierce?
Mierda, no tengo medicina. No sé por qué. Porque he estado encontrando todos los libros que me he pillado. Quizás aquí falte algo. A ver esto.
Bradley, what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion. You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then...
Then what?
The rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then?
I went to visit you at the hospital. And called on Marie's help to get you released.
And you don't remember the events of the tunnel?
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
Pues ya no hay nada más que hablar contigo, al menos.
I have flashbacks. They haunt me.
What did they do to you?
There was that Dr. Fuller. And a nurse. Blood. Everywhere. Legs. Pain. I couldn't bear it. I was screaming. They injected me with something. I woke up at the institute. Bradley was there.
And how you scared us. You seemed... demented.
You likely woke up during the anesthesia. No wonder those memories haunt you. What in God's name were they doing to you?
What happened afterwards?
When I woke up the second time, I was in a padded cell. That's where you found me, Doctor. After you released me, I got a good look at what's in store for the patients at the Riverside Institute. Hallucinogenic gas pumped into the cells. And infernal machine. Horrific medical experiments.
Impossible. Dr. Fuller would never do such a thing.
You should believe it, Ethan. What Mr. Pierce saw is precisely what I've been trying to prove. Did you discover anything else?
Bueno, vamos a pasar a ver con ella.
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume that it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him. Do you wish to know anything else?
I found a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the Institute's basement.
It makes sense. A powerful family like the Hawkins had the means to hide such a disgrace.
But everyone knows the Fullers have been taking care of the Hawkins for at least a generation. And all were aware of Mrs. Hawkins' fragility.
Perhaps, but no one would allow a psychiatric internment.
From what I read in the file, Fuller used her as a subject of his experiments.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins, subjects of Dr. Fuller. Why those two?
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kinds.
Yes, I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan, and I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
Bueno, vale, tenemos la decisión de tomar entre ser prudentes o decir la verdad e ir para adelante. Seré prudente por ahora.
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well.
Eso afecta
I'll
el
go to see
destino.
Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Bueno, a ver si puedo...
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Lo que no sé todavía es cómo acabar en el hospital, pero bueno. Vale, parece que va siendo hora de alargarse, así que vamos para allá. Y aquí empezamos en el capítulo 6, Residencia de los Sanders. Pierce, Colden y Bradley deciden unir sus fuerzas para resolver el caso de Sarah Hawkins. Encuentran un rastro nuevo que seguir, el de Francis Sanders, un coleccionista de arte y amigo del artista que murió delante de Pierce. El detective va a su casa con la intención de hablar con la viuda acerca del vagabundo que mencionó el hombre antes de morir.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
Our paths crossed, briefly. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
La psicología es baja. Sí, voy a decir eso.
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
Tengo elocuencia. Pero no. Claro, esto es como tira de dados, ¿no? O sea, tengo un porcentaje y digo, me puede funcionar o me puede no funcionar.
Mrs. Sanders, I understand your grief, and I extend my deepest condolences to you. But I had nothing to do with the death of your husband. I've just arrived on Darkwater. I'm investigating the death of the Hawkins family.
The death of the Hawkins family? You mean it was not an accident? This accursed island knows only tragedy after tragedy. You too would be advised to flee it like the plague. Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can't imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it, I would urge you to make the most of your visit. Because I count on ridding myself of that thing as soon as I can.
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
No sé qué hay por aquí.
Did she really care for him after all?
Estimada señora, por la presente acuso de recibo de la carta en la que nos exige el cuerpo de su fallecido marido. Siento informarle de que no puedo dar cumplimiento a su petición. En el momento de su ingreso, firmó usted un documento de descargo donde me otorgó el permiso para disponer de él. Le transmito sus máximas condolencias. Thomas Fuller.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Ah, esto sería el Vagabundo, esta especie de cuadro. Por cierto, me queda algo para mejorar, ¿no? Otro PP. Pues perfecto.
Frances Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even?
La verdad es que aquí hay cierto cambio, ¿no? Respecto a cuando se vio ahí en el manicomio. Pero bueno. Sigamos viendo cosas. Un piano. Oh, ¿qué hay aquí?
The House of Artists. Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler. Finally. What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting?
Qué raro.
He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom?
Parece como si fuera un cuadro maldito, ¿no?
She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel? She despises Sarah Hawkins, but it's the painting she truly hates. Why?
Mierda, no tengo habilidades de ocultismo, con lo cual no me voy a decir nada. ¡Hostia!
The Shambler. I need to see it.
¿Cómo que verlo? ¿Qué? O sea, sabemos lo que pasó. Y no fue agradable. Y si este armario está aquí, creo que es porque me voy a tener que esconder. También lo digo. Lo cual no me gusta nada. Oh, un breviario de medicina. Tomo 2.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
No sé qué nos cuenta el cilindro cuando lo pongan en un fonógrafo. Un cuadro un tanto feo.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
Están cerradas todas las habitaciones.
I could use one of those.
Pastillas para dormir, como siempre.
A strange Amerindian pendant. Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
Diario de la esposa del pastor, volumen 3.
Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Querido Francis, te suplico que renuncies a la idea de poseer ese maldito cuadro. Si en algo valoras nuestra amistad, líbrame del peso de esa culpa. Me niego a ser el responsable de tu caída. Te lo suplico, querido amigo. Olvídate del vagabundo. Tu amiga Sarah Hawkins. La ballena del frío. Supongo que es una pieza de información que va viniendo por aquí. ¡Oh! Aquí tenemos más detalles de cordura. Parece que me salté alguna. Disertación sobre cuestiones anatómicas. Más medicina. Pero insuficiente. ¿Qué es eso? Una especie de enciclopedia de criaturas monstruosas y desconocidas. Empieza a pensar que existen. Esto es para ocultismo. Volumen 2. Eso quiere decir que tendría un volumen 1. Bueno, hemos mejorado el ocultismo, lo cual es bueno y malo a la vez. ¿Por qué se afecta mi cordura? Llave de la galería de Sanders. La cosa empieza a ponerse fea aquí. Vamos a hablar con Kat.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
I have a well-off client in Boston who heard about the death of Francis Sanders and wanted me to size up his estate before making an offer to his widow.
Perfect, Detective. The pretext, the body language, I would have bought it if it was the first time I'd seen your face. You're a good talker, Pierce. Your story will do for the moment.
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say?
Sí, pues no sabe qué fue en se va a meter. Vamos ahí dentro. Mierda. Es que cada vez que veo esto me pongo nervioso. Porque sé que va a pasar algo y no mola.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Bueno, es que es una galería impresionante. Ahí está el cuadro de Marras. Lo voy a dejar para el final, si no os importa. Esta es la puerta de salida, ¿no?
The public entrance to the gallery. Why was he so interested in old weapons?
Sí, ¿veis?
The man transforms an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
Esto para recargar el aceite.
Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it?
Privado del talento Sherlock Hawkins, Sanders dibujó una daga en forma torturada con todo detalle. El guardia exhibe un extraño símbolo esotérico, elemento recurrente en la correspondencia que mantenía con Sarah. Vamos a ver si la encontramos por aquí.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Tiene que ser esta daga de aquí.
Why was he so interested in old weapons?
Vamos a mirar el Vagabundo, a ver qué pasa. Nos vamos a reír un rato. Coño.
What the hell was that?
Está claro que tengo que largarme. Me cago en la puta. Me va a pillar.
I can't even touch it.
La daga, joder.
Damn.
Eso, quédate ahí mirando. Me va a matar. Venga, ya, hombre. La cagamos. Era de esperar.
What the hell was that?
Algo muy feo, eso seguro. ¡Mierda! Necesitamos una daga.
Damn. This dagger.
Esta es la daga con la que tengo que cargarme el cuadro. Que es la misma que había en el dibujo. Hijo de puta.
What's the matter with you? You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
Mierda. No tengo ocultismo.
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
It's not your style to give me free information like that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I still got things to settle with Irene.
Hola amigos, hasta aquí el pescado se vendido. Si os ha gustado el vídeo, dale like, suscribiros y nos vemos en el próximo capítulo. Hasta luego.